Hello, everyone. Thanks for listening to Wake Up, Look Up, a podcast where we connect events happening in real time to the gospel of Jesus Christ. In today's episode, we're talking about romance novels, and we're asking the question, is it fantasy or porn? Romance literature is on the rise in the United States. The numbers are pretty interesting. Just a few years ago, there were only 2 stores nationally that sold only romance literature, meaning you go into the bookstore and they have one genre, and it's romance. That's all they sell. And now, at present, there are 20 stores nationally that only sell romance literature. I have to admit, I was a little surprised that you could even build a viable business solely on the back of romance writing. But the truth is, the numbers bear it out. In 2020, there were 18 million print copies of romance novels sold in the United States. In 2023, there were 39 million. That's over a 100% increase and doesn't factor in Kindle or audiobooks or other ways that people might be consuming this information. Romance literature, again, is incredibly on the rise. 6 out of 10 of the best-selling authors in the United States are exclusively romance writers. I mean, those are crazy numbers. And by the way, once you learn these numbers and you start paying attention, you'll see anecdotes that reinforce this. Once I was learning about this, I started noticing when I walk around our neighborhood pool that overwhelmingly the books people are reading, especially women, are romance novels. So that makes me ask the question as a pastor, is this good or not? Is this fantasy or is this porn? Now, that's a simplistic question, right? Because the answer is it's a little bit of both. You can't paint all romance literature into one kind of thing, good or bad. That's reductionistic. Well, what I want to do as your pastor is not maybe tell you what to read and what not to read, but to give you 3 points of guidance to help you decide if a particular book in the romance genre is going to be good for you, helpful for you, or harmful. So let's do that. Here's the first thing. Sexual gratification should not be found or pursued outside the context of a covenantal marriage. God makes that clear. The scriptures are full of people who have ruined their lives because of their pursuit of sex outside of the context of marriage. That's because covenant is a safety net for sex. It's sex with a person who is committed to loving you for the rest of your life, a person who's committed to not reducing you down to a commodity. When we take sex outside the context of marriage, somebody always gets turned into a thing, whether that someone is us or someone we're reading about. I know we get that with porn. When you're watching a video where 2 people perform for your pleasure, it's pretty apparent they've become commodities. But the same is true for fictional characters in a book. Reducing people down to something to fulfill our sexual desires is dangerous for them, and it's dangerous for us. If that's what's driving you to these books, or if that's what's filling the pages of these books, I think the answer is no for the Christian. Here's the second thing to think about. Are these books creating ghosts for your spouse or prospective spouse to compete with? Fictional characters are written by authors with a particular goal in mind. And when it's a romance novel, the author wants you to like the leading man or the leading lady. They write them intentionally to check all your boxes. They're funny, they work hard, they're wealthy, they have a great apartment, great hair, great everything that you're looking for. That's what keeps you compelled. That's what keeps you into the story. But of course, real people are not like that. They're messy. They have weaknesses. They have character flaws. By the way, so do you and so do I. Loving them means laying down our idealized version of a person and actually loving a real person. So if you find that these romance novels are cultivating dissatisfaction in the person you're married to, or if you're not married, in the people you might otherwise date, you need to be careful with that. The path forward to improving your spouse is communication. It means sitting down with them and saying, hey, these things you do are driving me crazy, or I would feel a little more loved by you if you did this. The problem is, of course, communication is hard. Maybe it's easier to sit by the pool and read a book about a fictional husband than it is to have a conversation with a real husband. But the latter is more beneficial for your life and more helpful for your marriage and more honoring to God. Be careful about that. And then third, of course, we all have a deep longing to be fully known and fully loved. That's what these books are tapping into, by the way, as one character gets to know another and loves everything that they find. But the true fulfillment of that longing is found in God. God alone knows us completely and loves us completely. It doesn't mean that reading about romance is bad, or that we can't have a little fun sitting by the pool reading about two people falling in love. It just means that even our enjoyment of that should remind us of a greater love that exists for us in Jesus Christ. So is it fantasy or porn? That's too simple of a question, and it doesn't have an easy answer. Should you read romance novels? Yeah, as long as you avoid the potentially harmful ways and the potentially harmful sources that it might bring into your marriage. Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Wake Up Look Up. While you're here, make sure you click like and subscribe so you get future content from Wake Up Look Up. And hey, leave a comment below letting us know what you thought or interacting in some way with what you just watched. I'd love a chance to talk with you more in the comment section. And also, while you're here, check out all the other content CCC puts out, including the videos that are around me right now.